Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning from Jeff Garcia. Today is February the 12th, 2024. 2024. Thank you, God. Um, 7 days ago, I felt horrible, probably worse than I had ever felt, even going back. Uh, I had done a transformation challenge to myself in 2014, and I changed a lot of ways. I exercised a whole lot. I did more cardio than diet, really, for like 2 years, 2.5 years. And I lost about 138 pounds. Well, in the latter part of, I want to say, 2017 and 2018, I started gaining all that weight back. Trials and tribulations of life took me there. Putting myself last took me there. And recently I was at the doctor and I was given the same news that I was given back in 2014. So, about 7 days ago, I made the decision to say, hey, I can't live like this anymore. I lived like that for a lot of years. Not through, let me explain, not through really through middle school and high school, even right out of high school. I think I started gaining my weight mostly around 24, 25 years old. And it was up and down with the weight, up and down, up and down. But just to fill you in on a little bit about the past, and I had already done a transformation, letting you know I've done a transformation in 2014. 2014, I had to have weighed, well, I can't say I had to have weighed. I actually weighed about, I think I want to say 462 pounds, 64 pounds, something like that. And a friend of mine had the gastro bypass surgery. And I did pre-gastro bypass surgery. I went to a couple seminars and stuff like that, and I had been thinking about it. And I just kept saying, it's not for me, it's not for me. And I never did it, But instead, started doing a lot of cardio. I started walking probably for about a year. And then after a year, I started a light run. It was a light run. And so I was able to run again. Like I never thought I would run again, at that point in 2014, 460 something pounds. You just don't think that way, But a year, I think I want to say about a year or a little bit more, I started a light jog run. Let me correct myself. And I ended up losing 138 pounds, somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit more, who knows? But I lost about that much. And I was happy as I could be. I felt great. I didn't crave a lot of things. Let me make this clear, I've never had an eating disorder, but it's been more of bad eating habits. Let's put it that way. And what I mean by that is that, you don't eat at the right times, you don't eat the right stuff, and stuff like that. But mainly my toll is I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do any type of recreational stuff, if you know what I mean. But so my thing was depression. I dealt with depression and stress in a different way. I ate, but like I said, I didn't have an eating disorder. I just ate when I wanted to. If it was 2 o'clock in the morning and I wanted to eat something, I ate something, and it took its toll on me. I gained a lot of weight, and over the years, I ended up getting to 460 something. And in 2014, when my friend had her surgery, I just said, if I'm not going to do the surgery, then I got to do something else. And I would walk in the winters, and here in Illinois, in Rockford, we get a lot of snow sometimes. Some years we get a lot of snow. And I started walking, and I walked through snow all the way past my knees. And I put myself through some harsh situations. About 9 months into it, I started lifting weights, and still, I still wasn't running, but I was already kind of getting the feel for it. I was doing little sprinting a little bit, and I was like, wow, I can sprint, And right around a year and a half, I started to run, but like I said, in 2017 and 18 was really rough for me. I lost my father, and things had already been happening before my father had passed. Like my father had fell a year before his passing. He had fell and he was paralyzed from the waist down. So I had to take full care of him, and that was a life experience that if you've never done it, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird and it's nerve-wracking, You love your father. I speak for myself. I loved my father dearly, and I would do anything for my father, and so I took care of him. I bathed him. I took care of him from head to toe, and what was so stressful is, number one, what he was going through, and so I couldn't put myself first. I couldn't oh man, just act funny, you know what I'm saying? And I felt really bad that I had brothers and sisters that they didn't come to help. They lived in other states, but they didn't offer to help. They just didn't. It was almost like they didn't care, and they had their reasons. Everybody has their reasons, because I don't want to, you only get the head side of the coin, you know what I'm saying? There's always tails. But they had their reasons, and I respect their reasons. I will say that, because I'm not here to badmouth anybody, but I respect their reasons. But I just want you to understand how I felt, So I did this on and off for about a year and a half till he went to the nursing home. And to make that decision, of letting him go to the nursing home, because he kind of begged me already, He was like, I'm a liability to you, you're not working now, you're taking care of me. And luckily I lived next door to him, so it was all right. But there was nights that I had to stay here all night, and he would have his accidents and stuff like that, and I had to take care of him. But it took its toll on me. So then after that, he went into the nursing home. I think this was maybe the third time. And within a month and a half, he passed away. So I kind of felt that inside for a long time. Man, I should have just listened to me and kept him at home, But it had took its toll on me too. It was very stressful. And then I was, I was conditioned in 2006. I was in good shape, but, with all the time taking care of him and all that, things started to decline as far as my cardio and taking my walks and all that. It just, and I tried it in 2017. I tried to get back out there, and I remember going for a run. In 2017, I remember going for a run. And I just bursted out in tears because, I miss my father, and I broke down, not just because of that, but because I felt like I was tired of cardio. I was tired of beating my body like that, because in the years prior, before my first transformation, before 2014, when I started, I noticed my body was deteriorating. My shoulders, my hips, my arms, when you're heavy, you sit down on a couch. A lot of people don't understand this, but you sit down, a lot of things become very difficult. Socializing becomes difficult. Everything becomes difficult. You go to people's houses, and, with my weight, I'm a big dude. I'm 6'2", but I'm weighing 460 something pounds. So wherever I go, it's always the big, hey man, aren't you gonna, you need to get on a diet, and you get just people with their stupid remarks, and then there's people that didn't say nothing, but you were like, your social life is just, it closes, because, here now you got to go in their houses, you got to sit at their table, you got to sit on their furniture, and you're like, man, when you go to the table, is that chair going to be okay? Because, you're maybe visiting people that at most they're 200 pounds, 180 pounds. Probably the biggest person in the family is 180 pounds. The smallest person, 125, 140 or something like that. And here you come, you're two people, basically, 2.5 people, So it was hard. It was hard using the bathroom, taking showers, using the toilet, taking care of yourself, It's a lot of things that I'm going to touch over time with this channel. And I'm going to get nitty gritty. And some people might not like it, what I talk about, but it needs to be told, because here's the story, okay? I'm sorry. I don't know if I told you guys the date today. I might have already told you the date, but today's the 12th of February, 2024. And it's the 7th day of my fasting diet. And I'm very happy about that. Very happy. As a matter of fact, this morning, my breakfast is a carrot drink, I haven't had any solids. I haven't had chicken, pork, beef, fish, shrimp, nothing. I haven't had nothing like that. Potatoes, rice, nothing, like no food. You know what I'm saying? I've had vegetables. I've had celery, carrots, apples, limes, oranges. I've had that, lemons, garlic. I've had garlic. I had like a broth. It's just a broth with basically celery, red onions, garlic, those packets to make like a broth. I don't know what they're called right now, but it's just little packets that you pour in your water, and it just makes like a beef broth or a chicken broth or something like that. I've had that. But as far as food, any type of candy, sweets, or anything like that, sugar, anything like that, no. If I'm getting my sugar, I'm getting it from my carrots, my oranges, apples, stuff like that. But that's it. But it's been rough. This 7 days, it's been really rough. But I don't want to change the subject. I just want to let you know that today is my 7th day, and I feel great. I feel great. I got to keep it up. I got to keep this up. I'm going for 30 days like that with none of the things that I mentioned to you guys. I'm not eating none of those things. If that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. I'm a guy that's, at times I could be extreme. Like I mentioned, I was walking through snow past my knees. But I took away something. I took something away from all that I went through. Let me tell you something about that. Let me tell you a little something about that. In 2014, when I did that, I was just tired, and I wanted to see my life change like overnight. So I was willing to do anything, jump off of a bridge if I had to prove it. You know what I'm saying? That, hey, I can survive. I can do this. I can jump right off this bridge and survive. It sounds kind of crazy, but yeah, and along the way, what I took is that cardio is very good for a person, very good. But for somebody that's at that weight, to do the things that I did, and I'll tell you, I invited a lot of people to do the things, because I would post on Facebook like what I was doing, taking my 2-mile walks, and first it wasn't even a block that I could walk, but once I got to a mile, 2 miles, and 3 miles, then I started posting and letting people know, basically letting them know. I mean, I didn't get into detail, but they could see my pictures. They could see what I looked like and the shape that I was in, and I was inviting them. So that was letting them know that if you need somebody, because I didn't have nobody, to walk with me or none of that. So I would offer that would open that door, but nobody ever took it. Nobody ever said, yeah, I'll walk with him, or look, I want to change. I'm in the same situation you are, because it's a very hard decision to make. It's a very hard decision to make. But it's very easy to fall off. It's very easy to gain the weight back. It's extremely easy to gain the weight back. And so anyways, what I took from that, key point of what I took from that, is that along with what I had already damaged, physically, my shoulders and my hips and all that, from being, obese in 2014, I did more damage, being so motivated, because I didn't want to lose that motivation. It just clicked one day, and I did not want to lose that motivation. And it seemed like as I was doing better, I just was wow, I was just like more fuel to the fire, And then I walked in extreme heats, like the worst heat that we could have in 2014. I did it too. I walked through the worst winter. That's how I started in the fall. That's when I started was it 2014? It was the fall, if I'm not mistaken. And I went right into the winter. I didn't have a long time. I hadn't even been walking that long. And I was already walking through snow and everything. It was insane when I thought about it afterwards. And my running, I went into Planet Fitness, and I when I didn't want to be outside, I'd go to Planet Fitness, and one day I went into Planet Fitness, and I had set this goal like days before, like, man, you know what? I'm gonna run for 2 hours nonstop. I want to see how many miles that I run, And I ran almost 10 miles in 2 hours, Of course, this was a year and a half after my beginning of my transformation, And man, I felt like I was going to die when I got off the treadmill. And I was like, man, I survived that. But I believe that deep inside, because of the way I felt, literally, I felt I damaged something. Like I put myself in a worse situation. I hurt myself. Like I broke my spirit. That's how I felt that day. So I was like, wow, because I would be invited to marathons and stuff, and I would think about it. And marathon, that's 26 miles. You know what I'm saying? That's not no game. Like, man, I take my hat off to those people. Much respect that they can run that, because, man, what I did that day at Planet Fitness, it was like, why did you do that? I felt wrong for a long time. I should have just stuck to my routine and did what I had to do, naturally, you know what I'm saying? Not push myself to that point, because I actually almost passed completely out. As a matter of fact, on the way home, I felt like I was going to die. I felt messed up. Like I had done so many 5Ks. I had done so many 6-mile runs. I had done up to 7-mile runs. But this time I ran for 2 hours nonstop. No breaks, no get off the treadmill, none of that. Just kept on going. So I'll tell anybody, if you go the extreme way, the cardio way, either you do it in moderation or you don't do it at all. Because, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're heavy, you got to take care of your brain, your body, everything. First your brain, then your body, because your brain can tell you some things. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. But your body is the one that's going to take the beating, So, today I feel it. I felt. And then it seemed like right after that, I went into a field that I didn't know anything about. So the stress and the depression started really hard, really hard, man. It started coming down on me. Like 2017 was just, man, it seemed like, wow, here I am, over 40, and I'm having some learning experiences, man, and I have to pay the bills. I have to survive. I have to, like everybody else, buy their food, pay the bills. So I had to deal with the job that I had and work with the person that I had to work with. And that person, to me today, with no disrespect or nothing, was very toxic to me. he had a way of teaching people stuff that was just cruel in the construction business, and in the rehab business, I should say, mainly drywall, and he just had this way, like, he was wrong the way that he did it. And then he would he'd keep you only learning so much. And okay, pick up the garbage and pick up the drywall and maybe frame something right here, or something small, a little wall or something, And not only that, I had a house that I had to completely do the inside of this house, and it belonged to me. Life became very rough, and to make the story short for now, so I can tell you guys that in segments in the videos, it became very hard to diet again, to even think about a gym. Now at this point too, to even go walking, because I'm very sensitive to the cold. And here in Rockford, it gets pretty cold. We maybe get a serious hot summer, we maybe get a month of that, or a month and a half. The rest of the year, it's either cold or it's just okay, the temperature's okay. So it took its toll on me. And the other day I went to the doctor, and it's like, man, are you going to say this again, that you're going to start? Are you going to make another video and not post it because you didn't start? Are you going to make a video and hold on to it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and not ever post it because you're not going to start, And the other day, the doctor told me, you're pre-diabetic, man. You're knocking on the door. There's no guarantee you're going to live tomorrow. You could have a heart attack. Anything can happen to you at this point. People that have a lesser problem than your obesity die of heart attacks, die of strokes, die of all these things he said, you're blessed, but you can be more blessed if you take that blessing and take advantage of it. Now, when he said that, if you think about what I just said, he said, you're blessed, but you could take advantage of that blessing instead of that blessing turning tragic, and he had already told me this. In 2014, he told me that, my same doctor. He said, man, I can't guarantee you tomorrow, man, I'm surprised you don't have high blood pressure. I'm surprised you're not diabetic. He told me that in 2014. I went on to run almost 10 miles. Lost 138 pounds. What I gather about us as humans, our brain is something. Our brain is very powerful. And our brain can really manipulate, can really contribute to your success, or it can destroy you. And this is without drugs, without alcohol, without anything. It can dominate you. And I'm speaking on my behalf. Stress, depression is real. When things happen in your life that derail you, they have a different impact on it's different for every human being in this world. And it can be tragic. Obesity is number 5 killer in the world. Number 5. Diabetes. That's a killer. Cancer is a killer. Being obese and diabetic, your chances of getting cancer, being obese and diabetic, are through the roof. You don't believe me? Check it out. And I know that in 2014, with me walking, when I first started walking, I was fasting. That helped me a lot to fast. I would have, this might be crazy because it wasn't like a real healthy way to fast, But I would take mushroom soups, cream of mushroom, cream of chicken. I would take all those, water them down. 2 cups of water. I'd throw some vegetables in it. Boom, eat it. I did that for like 6 months, on and off. 6 months, maybe longer. Maybe longer than that. And I think that helped me so much in dropping weight, to give me that chance to go through that snow, to go through those long walks, because I got to walking. I mean, I could walk 9-10 miles with no problem, but when I started, I couldn't walk a half a block. So I know I'm jumping from back and forth from things, but I just want to share this story with you guys. And today, it's like, wow, I'm back at it again, and it's hard to deal with that, because that's depressing too, because what it took the first time to do it. It was a lot of work, and the cardio was brutal that I put myself through. Today, I would never do that. I would never do it. For the life of me, I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. I'd rather not eat than to go through that. We just had some snow this year. We haven't had a lot of snow. I imagine before April we might have some snow, because it snowed here in April several times since I've lived here. I haven't lived here all my life, but I've lived here I would say a good close to 30 years I've lived here. So I would have never went outside this year, last year, be in the cold and be in the snow. Last year we got a lot of snow. I didn't dare to go out and walk in the snow and walk in the cold. Let's just take the snow out of the way. I still wouldn't go, Number one, I get sick. I get colds real bad. But what's really funny, and I'm going to tell you, it's really weird. When I was healthy, I didn't get sick. Because remember, I walked through that snow. I walked through that cold until the winter was over with, went right into the spring, into the summer, into the fall, walking. And by winter, I was already running. Let's put it that way. By the following winter, I was running. I wasn't a jog, I was running. For my size, that was considered running. So, and of course I had lost 138 pounds, but what I have to say, these 7 days have been tough, but I don't have no regrets. If you're watching this video, you've seen the beginning of the video. I wasn't even shaved or nothing. I felt horrible, You stop eating. You completely stop eating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's a broth? A little bowl, little white bowl, that deep. A broth a day with some onions, some garlic, what else? Some celery in there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with some powder to make it taste like beef. You know what I'm saying? What is that? I've added my juicing to it. I think like 2 years ago I did juicing. I was juicing everything, vegetables, fruit, and everything. And in 1 month I lost like 30 pounds, maybe a little bit more, but I just said 30 on my video. And it worked. So I put this in there because, I figure, what? Just plain water and 1 little soup a day. If your body's telling you something, do it. Because you have nothing to prove to nobody. You have to prove it to you, to that person in the mirror. That's who you have to prove it to. The doctor's telling you what can happen to you. They're not telling the world. They're telling you what can happen to you. So you either take it and you understand and you do something with it, or you tell yourself, next year. If you paid attention, I said 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Did nothing to change that. Every year, New Year's resolution. Oh, I'm going to take care of myself. It didn't have to be like this. I didn't have to go through this, but it's too late. It's already happened. I'm not gonna cry over it no more. I'm not, man, do something about it. So I'm doing something about it. And some people might say, oh man, Jeff, you're crazy. What do you mean? You drink maybe 2 or 3 of these a day? Maybe. Some days I don't even drink one. What do you mean? You're just drinking that and you're drinking water. And I'll say this. It's only 30 days. It's only 30 days. How many years have I been saying I'm going to fast, to lose the weight, not gain any more weight? None of that. Because I saw myself climb 350, 360, 370, 380, 400, 415, 430, 415, 440, 450, 456. Enough is enough. It's only 30 days. And that's what I'm saying to myself in my head. It's only 30 days. If I can do this for 30 days, I might be able to do it for 30 more. Oh, it's not good to lose weight like that. I am 3 people. I have to put that in my head. I am 3 people. 3 people. In some countries, I'm considered 4 people. I have to do something. So if you're going to watch these videos and feel like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, I'm going to look at your advice because I'm that person anyways. I'm not rude. I'm going to look at what you guys think, how you guys feel, ideas you give me. I'm going to try to respond to all the comments and all the suggestions and all that. But I just feel that this has to be done. I'm going to go get my hair cut today. I couldn't go this week when I said in the video that I add to this was before this video. I'm going to merge them together. And I said I was going to go get my hair cut and I was going to clean up. The person that cuts my hair hasn't been there. But I'll tell you another secret. I wasn't too crazy about going to get my hair cut. Ask me why. Don't worry about it. I'm going to tell you why. Because when you've gained the weight that I've gained, it's kind of hard to go sit in that chair and say, man, it's kind of hard. It's the first thing you see when you go sit in that chair is you look at yourself because they got a big old mirror right in front of you so you can look at yourself. So when you dodge that mirror in the bathroom and you're constantly dodging, you won't look at it, that's me. And if that's you, don't feel alone. That's me. And I go to put that seatbelt on in my truck, and then 2 years ago, it did not fit no more. And I just got to put it around me and maybe hold it with my elbow or put it under my leg if I can. That's me. And that's probably you too, if you're watching this video. But just think about it. I wasn't too crazy to go to the barber shop because I just made these points to you. They're going to sit me right there. Okay, Mr. Garcia, look at yourself in the mirror. I'm going to cut your hair. By the way, you barely fit in this chair. Wow, you're so big. They got to do a full circle around you. And don't take me wrong, guys. This is about health. This isn't about anything else. This is about health. This is about living and dying. That's what it's about. It's about what the statistics say when you start to think about it. And you know it. When you start to think that you walk around in your own house and you're afraid in your own house to sit in certain chairs. And, when you go to the bathroom, you don't want to look at the mirror. I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person. And I say, oh, why do I deserve this? Why do I deserve this? And you just feel sorry for yourself. But It's you that's doing it. You're doing it. You feel sorry for yourself on one side, but on the other side, you're doing it. You're doing it to yourself. You're letting life get the best of you. I would work so much. I'd work on Sundays. I would leave at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. Sometimes get home at 8:30 at night. Serve me a full plate of whatever I could get my hands on. Eat that. I would be so tired. Imagine being tired and then you feed yourself. Well, man, that's the worst combination, man. You're going straight to bed. And I did this. I had to make a living. I was going through depression. I didn't like the people I worked with. It was a new experience, new job, new, not career, because I'm not making it a career. You can bet that. That's not going to happen. But I've been doing this for a long time. I said it right. 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And every one of those years when New Year's came, I'm going to change things. I did this diet. Lost 30-something pounds and fell right off. I let life get the best of me every time. Every time. And I think as you get older, with you getting older, it doesn't help get rid of the depression. You get older, you're seeing yourself get older. You know, you're like, oh man, I'm getting old. And I think when people say, oh man, I'm old now, that's so cliche because, you know, if you ever pay attention, if you ever have a chance, go to a marathon, don't participate, but just go to a marathon and look at the people that do it. Go to a 5K and look at the people that are there doing it. It's all ages, all types of people from all walks of life. And it's all ages, I said it. All sizes. I've seen some chubby people do 5Ks. I've seen some, I don't want to be mean, fat people do some 5Ks. I was one of them. And that's just fact. And I couldn't believe how they did it. Well, at one point, they were looking at me like, I can't believe he did it. I remember my first 5K, people I had never met, never knew, came to me and they were like, are you okay? You okay? You want some water? Some just, I got to give you a hug. And I never knew them in my life. I got to say hi to this guy. It was almost like you could feel it. So it's been rough. I have to do it. Wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck. This will be the first video, and it'll probably be out in a couple of days. And the next video, I'm going to get into how much I weigh and all that, the whole health thing. And by the way, in January, I turned 50 years old. The last time I did this, I was 41 years old. Don't let that scare you. Don't let that scare you. There's things in life that are a lot worse that happen to us than to change the way that we eat, the way that we take care of yourself, the way we take care of ourselves. There's so many things worse that we go through than what you have to do to live another day, to love yourself. We're a shell with a brain. The brain needs the shell to be healthy. The brain needs to be healthy. Your soul needs your heart. It needs your heart. It needs you to, your body needs you to love your body. And we can't do that. It's just the brain by itself. And unfortunately, the way your body turns out affects your brain when you can't even look in the mirror. When you have to think twice before you get in someone's car. You have to think twice before you sit on their furniture. Those are a lot of things that go to my head. And I don't want this video to be depressing. I don't want it to hurt anybody. This video is not for that. This video is to say, you're not alone. But look what's happening to me. And it's probably happening to you. And do understand, time waits for nobody. You don't get any younger. We all get older. And that's just the way it is. That's life. And if we keep telling ourselves 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, we're going to do it every one of those years and we don't do it, you know it's the number 5 killer in the world. You know that obesity contributes to cancer. You know all these things. I know it. I can't fail. I can't fail. I can't fail. Thank you, God, and you guys have a blessed day.